Hi folks, Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. So my question today is, why aren't the Lib Dems appealing to working class voters? And aligned with that, how do we as a party get more working class candidates standing in winnable seats at every level of politics, from parish councils to the House of Commons? We are, as a party, painfully middle class, and nothing wrong with being middle class at all. But we shouldn't only be that. We should have a much broader appeal, and that is really important. We're also overwhelmingly southern, and it's in the south of the country that we've had our greatest successes, and that's fantastic. But again, as I said in a video the other day, we're a national party or we are nothing, and it's important that we are seen to represent, and indeed do represent, other parts of the country as well, including up here in the East Midlands, where I'm broadcasting from today, and indeed where I live. We need to do, let's be honest, a much better job of serving and connecting to working class communities. Now, I'm proudly working class. My mum worked in a factory, my dad drove a taxi. I was the first in my family to go to university, and I now work in the charity sector on a modest wage. So I'm very much working class. So why did I join the Lib Dems? Why not, for example, say the Labour Party? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Liberal Democrats care about communities, and we care about people. And it was, of course, Liberals who first began the underpinnings of what I call the social contract of a welfare state, there to help people if and when they face tough times, and a free at the point of use national health service. Of course, the NHS, first the idea, at least the person who first kind of put it in a coherent way, was William Beveridge in his landmark Beveridge report that the Labour government that succeeded the wartime coalition then put into practice by actually bringing in the NHS. But William Beveridge was, of course, a Liberal. And so that is why I'm a Liberal Democrat. Tom Gordon, the fantastic Lib Dem MP for Harrogate and Knaresborough, also knows what it's like to be working class and to fight for a voice and a place in politics. And I was absolutely delighted yesterday when I saw a number of tweets from Tom, which I'm going to read out to you now, because I was so delighted to read this from him. And just basically, well, as I said in my tweet after, I was like, yes, this is what I've been wanting to hear for a very long time. So yesterday, in a series of tweets, Tom wrote, "After helping my mum knock on doors this weekend, I've decided to start a bit of a project. It's about making politics more accessible to working class communities and making sure we get the politicians we need and that we deserve." So he goes on, "My mum had me when she was 18, ended up as a single parent in a Yorkshire ex-mining town. I was the first in my family to go to uni. I know the barriers working class people face because I've lived them," he says. "Politics wasn't made for people like us. That has to change." Well said, Tom, absolutely right. He goes on, "Time and again, working class communities have been promised the world and delivered nothing." He says, "Labour takes people for granted. The Tories look the other way. Reform offer nothing but division and false hope." He goes on, "I believe, in fact I know, that the Lib Dems have the answers to the problems facing areas like the one I grew up in. We believe in community, in opportunity, in dignity, in lifting people up, not holding them down or writing them off. That's why I joined the Lib Dems," he said. "But belief isn't enough. It's time to act. We must demand better. That's why I want to set up a working class candidates task force to find, support and help elect voices from working class backgrounds. Not just talk, but action. We need to tear down the barriers and prove that politics is for everyone, no matter your background. We can and must be the party that opens the door to people like me and millions more. If you're working class and you've ever thought, people like me don't get into politics, then I hear you, I see you, and I want to change that. If you want to help get the candidates and the change that we deserve, please get in touch. Wow, I mean, actually really quite moving reading that out loud as a working class lad who had opinions, who wanted to see my community here in Leicestershire and indeed other communities across the country be better, and for people to have opportunities. And politics can be expensive to get into, even at a local level. It can be expensive in terms of money. It can be expensive in terms of time. Because working class people have to do exactly that. They have to work to feed themselves and their families, to keep a household going, etc. And we can be time poor. We don't necessarily have the time to go to all the meetings that you need to, both party meetings and council meetings, etc. And so how do we make politics more available, more approachable to people from working class communities? And so grateful that Tom has that lived experience. And not only, Tom has now made it in that sense with a lot of hard work, of course, and with a great team, but Tom has now made it. He is a member of Parliament. But the fact that he, and obviously Tom would never do this, but, some people perhaps of other parties who make it and then pull the ladder up behind them. Tom doesn't want to do that. Tom wants to extend the ladder to other people like him from working class communities. And the fact that he wrote those tweets, the fact that he's starting this initiative in the party means a lot to me. I know it'll mean a lot to lots of other working class Lib Dems who sometimes feel, perhaps wrongly, but who sometimes feel that our voices are forgotten in how the party works. And that is one of the final points that I wanted to make here in this video, because it obviously is about getting more working class people elected as Lib Dem councillors, MPs, MSPs, members of the Welsh Parliament, London Assembly members, the whole gamut. But it's about ensuring that we have a policy agenda that serves working class communities, and that's really important as well. And also ensuring that working class voices have a seat at all the decision-making tables where decisions are made in the party. Not just decisions about policy, but about how the party runs and what our messaging is, and the whole gamut of what it takes to be a political party. So I just really want to praise Tom, to thank him for his tweets, which were the inspiration for this video today, to say that I'm absolutely at his disposal in terms of whatever help I can be to get this project that he's launching off the ground and to make sure that it's a success. I say again, the Lib Dems are a national party or we are nothing, and we are a broad church party or we are nothing. And that must mean having working class people at every level of the party, and to ensure that there's more working class people sitting as Liberal Democrats in the House of Commons. Thanks.